Hey guys, it's Jasmin, and this is Fragrance Review Friday. This is actually the debut Fragrance Review Friday, and that being said, it was really hard for me to decide where to kick things off. And so I asked you guys and noticed that a few of you mentioned being sensitive to fragrances. So I took that into consideration, and then I realized, well, we're an online kind of internet-based community here at Cat Lady Fitness right now, so it seemed absolutely perfect to kick things off with the house of Fleur. Not only is Fleur an internet fragrance company, but they also highly consider the health of the consumer and sensitivities to fragrances that a lot of people have, and that includes minimizing skin irritants, unnecessary additives, and they also source their ingredients responsibly. Full disclaimer, I'm not associated or affiliated with Fleur at all. I actually purchased all of their fragrances in samples, and that led me to purchasing a couple of bottles. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. I'm going to share a review for each of their fragrances. So I know I'm trying to make my video shorter, but I mean, this is the debut one, right? And wouldn't you want to know about all of the options you have in order to know which you'd potentially want to get samples of yourself, because they have a really awesome system for that. Because they're an internet-based company, you don't have any other chance to perhaps smell their fragrances at a department store or at Sephora or Ulta. So you have to get these samples. But the cool thing is you order the 3 samples for $18, and each of them, you could see, I wasn't kidding, I got 9 samples to start, and this was when they only had, I think this is when they only had 8 fragrances. But you order 3 fragrances, samples, everything from their marketing to their packaging. Like, I just really liked how clean and organized, great customer service, how timely I received it, all of it. But it comes in these little boxes, super cute little sample things here with the ribbon and like a padded thing inside. It's really high quality. It's put together well. Not only that, but each fragrance you get, each sample, comes with one of these kind of like informational cards that has a picture representing the fragrance. And I love this because when have you ever seen this with fragrance? This is the first time I'd seen it. That's probably why I was like, oh, I love this company. They tell you what to expect after 5 minutes of wear, 1 hour of wear, 8 hours of wear, and depending on the fragrance and how long it should last, like this one tells you what to expect after 10 minutes of wear, 1 hour, 4 hours. And this must be because it is internet based, so they have to do the best they can to represent their fragrances so people have a better idea of what to choose. And I know this sounds like so sponsored or affiliated, but I swear to God it's not. I just was so impressed by this, just as from a business perspective to a creative design perspective to all of it. Obviously also to the quality of their fragrances. But they have all kinds of pictures to help represent what that fragrance represents. And they even have playlists for each fragrance with songs that bring you into what that fragrance is about, how it's supposed to make you feel. And all of it is really very, very accurate from what I looked at. All right, so the time of year that you try a fragrance is very important. I live kind of in a tropical, humid area. Typically, it's really hard to find something that lasts a long time on your skin in this type of environment, but that isn't overwhelming, basically, which you don't want to smell super overwhelming and have a strong fragrance in that way in the summertime, as I'm sure many of you can imagine. It just will choke people out and it's not very pleasant. So to find that happy medium in this kind of climate is a little difficult. But for these, I tried them way back when I got them, early summertime of this year, I believe. And then I also made sure to try them again within the last week just to get a perspective from cooler weather versus super hot weather. That said, I do want to start off with what I believe is their first fragrance they came out with, and one that is apparently their most popular, and that is Hanami. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't see anything special about it. The fact that it's the #1 selling, like voted most favorite, all that stuff, I don't know if that's because it's the safest. So the notes for this are fig, white florals, hazelnut, and sandalwood. First thoughts when I smell this are my mom I'll get to that. Fresh shower, dryer sheets, lipstick. It's like if your mom was to have just gotten out of a fresh shower in clothes that just came out of the dryer with some good fresh dryer sheets, and she goes in to give you a kiss on your cheek and you get like a whiff of that lipstick. That's what this smells like to me. First spray it's like a creamy fig tree next to a bouquet of white flowers in the powder room of some country club. I don't get any sweetness. It smells very beige and light, and that's why I'm saying it smells like these kind of neutral toned orbs. Light gray, the colors that I think of are light gray, basically all of the colors on this paper. And I just wasn't a big fan of how it developed. It definitely has a musk to it. I would say this is definitely daytime, even though it could transfer into night. You know what this smells like? Do you know what this is? Why this reminds me of my mom. My mom's signature kind of like lotion and scent is that Japanese cherry blossom from Bath and Body Works. And this smells just like maybe a milder, muskier, higher quality Japanese cherry blossom with hints of like a soft, powdery, creamy vanilla, which I'm thinking is the hazelnut. I definitely smell the fig in here. The longevity on this really isn't that good. I couldn't smell it on my skin in the heat of summertime or in the winter past maybe 4 hours. So this is something that if you plan on having it come off of you all day, then you probably want to carry the bottle with you to work or bring it in your purse or something or keep it in your gym bag. Like I mentioned, it's really understandable. It's really safe as a go-to fragrance. And I also see this as being a good unisex fragrance. I know I've kind of described it to be more on the feminine side, I feel like, but it really wouldn't have to be. This could be a men's fragrance as well. This does become slightly sweeter as it develops. I don't get much of the sandalwood, and that's really it because I think that creaminess comes from the hazelnut and it's more of an underlying creaminess. I will say it can depend how you layer it too, because I never liked it on myself, and sometimes I'll spray a fragrance on myself before I go to bed. And did I bring it? I did. So sometimes at night, again, not affiliated or associated. I think I got this from like Target, but this is a really good lotion that I'll use just as a body lotion and slather myself at night after a shower. And for some reason, when I sprayed Hanami on myself after this, which is a extra creamy coconut oil lotion, it smelled really good. And again, this is their most popular #1 fragrance. So keep that in mind. My taste might be a little bit different. Really smells delicious, and I could see how it could on other people. So if musky, powdery, beige, and gray orb smells are up your alley, then Hanami is for you. So the next one, and I'm just picking them by random at this point, we're going to talk about is Siano. The notes of Siano are green pepper, lang lang, osmanthus, mimosa, and cognac. So let me, refresh my memory. This one's interesting. This one, first spray, it's sexy. And I might even say this is, in general terms, the sexiest feminine fragrance in their entire house. It's definitely floral, but it's a kind of like deep purple. I feel like I should know what osmanthus looks like, but I do not. But it's definitely a deep purple, kind of like magenta, those big flowers. Here's the thing about this one. It smells good, but 5 minutes after spraying this on myself, I got a hint of those little like wafer, I think lavender candies that grandmothers carry in their purse. Do you know those little candies I'm talking about? What are they called? I think they're Necco wafers. So after like 5 minutes of kind of settling into your skin, or at least my skin, this reminded me of those wafers, and then it just automatically reminded me of one of those, just like a sassy, snazzy, fancy old grandmother. You know, there's grandmas that are like in their 50s. No, I mean like 70 plus, just like to the nines. She goes to the, if you had a grandmother, anything like mine, I mean, she was Spanish, so she would get all gussied up, earrings, hair coiffed, makeup, Elizabeth Taylor, I think it was white diamonds or something, to go to her, everyday doctor's checkup. She should have been wearing this. And I know you're like, Wait a second. I thought you said it was accurate with the depictions. I think it could be. I even took notes, and in my notes, I felt like maybe this is similar to an Elizabeth Taylor's like Passion or White Diamonds. I didn't have any to smell and compare, but maybe this really has similar notes or smells alike to those fragrances, because that is what my grandmother wore. After a while, after it begins to develop, I just got potpourri. I got floral. Still, this stays floral the whole entire time, but it becomes more of a provocative kind of floral. And I think it's the Lang Lang or Ylang Ylang, however you say it. I think that is what's really prevalent here. Like smelling it now, because it's only been a couple of minutes and it's on paper, it right now is when it's starting to get to that candy smell I just talked about. But after about 1 hour, I did notice that it softened up and it does become more powdery and feminine, but it still stays rich, if that makes sense. I would definitely say that this, even though all, fragrances are very fluid when it comes to your preference, if it's masculine or feminine, you can wear whatever you want. But I would say generally this leans more towards the feminine side. This one also has pretty long longevity. And I will say that even though through that first maybe hour or two of development, I was just like, it kept changing. I'm like, I'm thinking of my grandma. I'm thinking of candies. I'm thinking of potpourri. Like, what's going on? It did really grow on me. And I could tell because after 2 to 3 hours, I kept finding myself bringing my arm up to smell myself. And I really, really grew to like it. And the longevity on this is 8+ hours. So that lasts a really long time. All of their fragrances are great because they're all so different. They actually use different perfumers for their fragrances, which is great because you don't want everything smelling super similar if you want to appeal to different people. I would definitely say this is more of a nighttime fragrance, maybe more of a cool weather winter fragrance. If someone was to wear this in like a hot, sticky kind of Costa Rican like summer, I think it might be a little bit too overpowering. I don't think this is office friendly. I think it's kind of like date night, nighttime, Christmas party, holiday party. If you like kind of rich, romantic, kind of provocative florals, I wouldn't describe this as very, very sweet, but it definitely has a sexy vibe to it. If I had to associate this with any kind of well-known person or celebrity, I would say Sophia Loren. I could definitely imagine her wearing something like this, not just now, and she's amazing now, but even when she was younger. Like I could imagine this being her signature fragrance for her entire life. So that is my review of Siano. All right, guys, the reviews ended up being way too long, so I'm going to chop this up into 3 videos. I will leave a link in the description and the pinned comment. Again, I'm not affiliated with them at all. That's just something that they give all customers to share with their friends. And we're a family here at Cat Lady Fitness, so I am sharing that with you. Also, please leave me any requests for a fragrance review that you may want in the future, whether it's a specific single fragrance, which would be great because that would be a fast video to make, or suggestions of other ones you may like based on your current favorite fragrance, or gift giving ideas, or whatever it may be. Of course, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon below if you want to become a part of the Cat Lady Fitness family, because we do put out videos every Catter Day, which are often pertaining to cat stuff, kitty nutrition, cat care, as well as things for humans like workouts, stress management tips, and whatever I feel like posting. And if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure to like our page, Cat Lady Fitness. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!